In 1926, Dr. Lee D. Forrest had the following to say about the future of television. Although technologically and theoretically television is feasible, commercially and financially it is an impossibility, and a development of which we waste little time dreaming. In 1977, Ken Olsen, founder of DEC, was quoted as saying, "There is no reason why anyone would ever want a home computer." In 1876, Western Union rejected the telephone, saying, "The idea is idiotic on the face of it, and we would not recommend its purchase." What did Instagram see that Kodak didn't? Because Kodak at its peak had about 140,000 employees, when Instagram, with only 13, recently sold for about $1 billion. You know what's funny? The scientists at Kodak actually helped develop the digital camera that would eventually take them out of business. So why, when that was developing in potential, was the company stuck still developing pictures? Something that you created ends up becoming one of your biggest opponents. Man, looking back through the timeline, that must have been one hell of a Kodak moment. HMV, one of the world leaders in its field at its peak, recently faced bankruptcy. And what do you expect? I mean, I don't condone piracy, but one phone call to my friend Jesse, and for about £10 in under 6 hours, I could probably have the whole of HMV on a USB. I mean, it's 2014. Are you realistically still trying to sell CDs? Are you starting to see what these companies have in common? Not only were they too afraid to take risk in their business, they were also not crazy enough to believe that they could invest in the future. Because as logical people, we become stuck in our ways, reluctant to change, function the same when there's nothing to gain. We always say to ourselves, if it's not broke, why fix it? Business people always say there's no need to reinvent the wheel, forgetting that all skyscrapers were once just slabs of stone. Google was once just a scrap of codes. Ironically, if you look at it from a perspective that's logical, the only true path to your dreams is to perceive what others deemed illogical. I can bet you right now that it's not too far-fetched that there's a kid in an apartment creating some kind of app that will disrupt your industry and put your job in the past tense simply because he's still crazy enough to believe in the scenes he saw in Star Trek. Because it's only crazy people that embrace what others tend to fear. I bet Kodak wished they'd had someone standing at the end of the line with a sign saying the end is near. Because how many times have you passed on new opportunities in your business when you could have been exploring them? Thinking, this worked in the past, so there's no need for me to hop in the DeLorean. But you see, everything that you saw in Star Wars and used to believe in and labeled insanity is now a potential reality. Well, except for the lightsaber. But I do have this one idea with a broom handle and a laser. Any serious investors watching, we can discuss that later. All I'm saying is that as new entrepreneurs, we all start off as crazy. But as time goes on, we learn to put our guns on safety. And we never really realize when it's happening. For instance, a man sent me an email titled, "Why I Hate the Internet." He said to me he felt the internet was harmful and it was killing human interaction. He said he'd seen my video on YouTube and wanted to discuss it further on Skype. He said I could find more details about his campaign on his website and I should check his LinkedIn profile to see that he was justified. He ended the email by asking if I could follow him back on Twitter. It's kind of like when you look around and wonder why all your friends are getting married or having kids when you're just too afraid to admit to yourself that you're actually getting old. But this just is not about people's reluctance to take risk in business, but also people's unwillingness to take risks in life. But when you look at the world, you'll see that old ideas saved it, current ones sustained it, but it's the crazy ones that changed it. If you don't change, you don't grow. If you don't grow, you aren't living. Gail Sheehy. So this is my message to you all. It's only contents, a single quote written in italics saying, appreciate the past, utilize the present, and don't be afraid to create the future. Peace.